Karibu Mheshimiwa Rais.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. The Right Honorable Raila Odinga, Baba himself, Governor Peter, Governor James, Governor Gladys, CSS, members of Parliament, MCS led by the majority leader, and I can see he's truly majority, just by size. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a wonderful morning, and we have come here intentionally. And I want to thank Hassan Joho and his team at the Ministry of Mining and Blue Economy for putting together this conference so that we can have a candid conversation about blue gold, about our waters, which in his words, our waters, our wealth. The blue economy space hasn't been developed sufficiently to contribute meaningfully to both our gross domestic product, but also food security, jobs, and to our economy. And it is the reason why it became necessary to organize this sector better. And I will just give you a summary of what has happened over the last 3 years. Guda here and his team of beach management units will tell you these beach management units for a long time were social organizations dealing with social issues, organizing a funeral for a friend who has died, and many other things. But we realized that it is not possible to organize this blue economy and the fish sector without the ultimate stakeholders, that is the fisher folk. And to be able to organize this sector, it was necessary first to organize the ultimate stakeholders. And it is the reason why we took up the responsibility to transform the beach management units from social organizations into economic units. We have registered all the beach management units across Kenya, and we have 450 of them. That was step one. Step two, we're now moving these beach management units and organizing them into cooperatives, so that they begin to appropriate the place of marketing, of organizing the fishing, and also making sure that this becomes a commercial entity, and the beach management units, being cooperatives, can then begin to provide linkages for fishing, for making sure that the fish is processed, and ultimately the route to market. We have already completed the training and the movement of beach management units. Of the 450, 180 have already been trained, and they have already been registered as cooperatives. I am informed by Joho and his team that they will complete the process of training and transitioning the BMUs into cooperatives and economic units by July this year. It is the base upon which we are going to build the growth of the blue economy and the fishing sector. That was number one. We also, as we organized these beach management units, it became necessary for us to empower them, to give them some resources so that they can begin to organize themselves. So far, Guda here, being the national chairman, will tell you we have already given grants to the BMUs that we have organized amounting to 3.2 billion shillings. There is still some money left, about 200 million for the ones that we have not reached out to. And it is our intention to build the capacity of these beach management units into cooperatives, and ultimately they will have SACCOs. I must congratulate Homabay and Mr. Oremo here, the chair of Homabay Beach Management Units, and also Governor Wanga for supporting the SACCO. Already the county government has given support to the SACCO of the fisher folk and the BMUs that have organized themselves into cooperatives and eventually have a SACCO. And apart from the grant, we're now organizing them, as I have said, to take the place and to work with us in the rest of the infrastructure that we are building to support the blue economy. I will give you 3 places where, as government, we are investing to make sure that this sector, the potential that exists in this sector, we can be able to unlock it. And just for numbers, so that you know where we are. Today, the fish space, the blue economy space, is contributing between 30 and 40 billion shillings. The potential is between 300 and 500 billion shillings every year. So in terms of where we are very far from attaining the true potential of the blue economy. And therefore it is necessary for us to build the blocks that will take us to unlocking the potential that exists in the blue economy. What are the steps we are taking? Number 1, it is necessary to build, as I said, capacity around the men and women in this space. That we have already done. Number 2, it is necessary to build the infrastructure to support this space. I was in Kabonyo with Governor Nyong'o. We are doing a fish fingerling farm there, hatchery, with the support from partners of 1.3 billion shillings. That will bring between 7 and 10 million fingerlings every quarter, so that we can support the production and development of fish. It will help us feed into fish cages and all the other spaces, the aquaculture space, including ultimately assisting us to restock Lake Victoria. That construction is going on as I talk to you. There is also a similar construction in Kwale, Namaret. And I want to thank the ministry for taking leadership and pushing the contractors to make sure that we get that space moving. Because we also run a risk if overfishing takes place, we run the risk of undermining the potential in this sector. So development of hatchery infrastructure to make sure that we have enough fish in all our aquaculture spaces, including ultimately restocking our waters. Number 2, it becomes also necessary for us to provide the infrastructure for handling fish and processing fish. What have we done? In the last 3 years, we have completed 4 fish landing sites along the Indian Ocean coast, and we have completed 3 fish landing sites along the lake. I was in Mulkoba in Busia last year. Luanda Kotieno is already working. In fact, Luanda Kotieno in Siaya is the best example we have of how a fish landing site should operate. And I want to thank the county government of Siaya for working with the private sector and the fish landing, the fisher folk and the BMUs and the cooperatives in Siaya to now unlock the potential of fishing in that space. And today, Luanda Kotieno is among the profitable landing sites that is taking place in Kenya. We have also finished the fish landing site in Sori, here in Migori. That is complete, and I have instructed Joho to work with the governor so that we can hand it over in the next few days. Again, the model is that the fish community there, the fisher folk, the BMUs, the cooperatives that have been set up, work with the county government, rope in the private sector to help them with the management so that we can again have a win-win outcome in that space. So already 4 are completed in the coast, 3 are completed here in Lake Victoria, and because we can see the potential that exists there, we're now building another 5 fish landing sites in the coast and 9 fish landing sites in Lake Victoria. We have committed 1.5 billion shillings, and we have the money, Joho has the money, to be able to build the 9 fish landing sites along the Lake Victoria shores. Here in Homabay, Nyandiwa is going to have a fish landing site. Mainuga is going to have a fish landing site. And which one? Wakula. So we have 3 fish landing sites, and we are committing 450 million shillings to build those 3 here in Homabay County. Nyasuna here keeps telling me that 70% of the lake is in Homabay. And she's trying to intimidate everybody into submission. So, my instructions to the ministry is that we complete the procurement. We've done the architectural designs. We are working on completing the procurement, and we should be able to build those fish landing sites in the next 1 year and complete them. All the 9, including the 3 in Homabay, as part of our plan to make sure that, 1, fisher folk have cold room facilities. They can have enough ice for them to go into the lake for 2-3 days, sufficient so that their fish don't get spoiled. There is also basic processing facility at the fish landing site, and organize the people in that space for marketing, including what we are going to be doing today, launching the fish market here in Homabay. So that is part of improving the infrastructure that is necessary for us to build this industry and sector into commercial viability. Number 3, it is also necessary for us to scale up and broaden the space around aquaculture. And here in Lake Victoria, fish cages becomes the next step. I'm very happy that already we have 50 units of fish cages, 50 54. We are in the process of procuring another 55. So that we can expand opportunities for production, commercial production here in Lake Victoria. And as you are aware, each fish cage can do up to 33,000 fingerlings and grow them in 7 months. We're trying to reduce on the time taken from 7 months to maybe 5 months. We are looking at research. Kefri is helping us with research so that we can have a quicker turnaround of the fish cages that we have. We are also looking at how do we enhance the motorability and mobility of our fisher folk. We already have distributed 120 fish boats in Mombasa and its environs. And with Kenya Shipyard, we are now working on developing a fish port that is suited to the waters of Lake Victoria. I am aware that many of the fishing boats now we have are the wooden ones. And we lose a lot of people. Almost 5,000 fishermen die every year as they try and earn a living because of capsizing and many of these other things. So we have asked the ministry to work with the shipyard so that we can develop fiber fish boats. I think we already have the first 4 that were done as models. We're going to see how they pan out, and then we will now work with the shipyard to make sure that we produce enough and replace all the dangerous wooden boats with modern fishing boats. So that exercise is ongoing as we work with the fisher folk and all the BMUs and all the cooperatives that have been built around that space. And then lastly is matter security. It is very important because there is a lot of insecurity in our waters. Both between different groups of fishermen, and I want to encourage the fisher folk. As government, we have identified areas for breeding of fish. It is not right for any BMU or any group to go and fish in areas of breeding because it undermines the whole industry. And I know that some of the fights occur when certain rogue groups try to go and fish in these identified areas. We are going to find a better way of securing those areas and managing those areas so that we reduce the conflicts between the different groups. But we know also that we have serious security issues as a result of our neighbors. And I did send Minister Joho to engage his colleague in Uganda and Tanzania. There is currently a conversation that is going on between our 3 countries so that we can find a way of having a uniform license for all our fishermen to avoid this country arresting that country's people and the rest of what's going on at the moment. So that conversation is going on. We are scaling it up. If once the ministers finish with what they are doing, we are going to scale it up to the level of the heads of state, where you know I am now the chairman of the East African community. So So Hassan, you have some homework to do there so that we can be able to complete that process sooner rather than later. We are also working with the Coast Guard, and I saw Shiosho somewhere. Yeah, the Director General of Coast Guard, so that we can have a sustainable surveillance mechanism for our waters. We have deployed several policing boats. There is a challenge of sustainability. Sometimes they don't have enough fuel. So I want us to work together with the BMUs and with the counties to see how we can make those security boats much more versatile, that they can do more surveillance, and to make sure that there is rescue and there is protection of our fishermen and women as they undertake their exercise. So in a nutshell, I am saying that we have identified the blue economy as one of the areas that we have huge potential. It is contributing only 0.4% to our GDP, when it can actually contribute maybe 6-7 times what it is contributing at the moment, maybe even 10 times. So this is an area of focus, and I am very confident with the team in the Ministry of Mining and Blue Economy under my friend Hassan Joho and the two PSS. So I want to encourage Guda and his team. You know very well that we have met many times, and you know very well that I am personally committed to this sector, and we will continue to look at opportunities for unlocking this potential. Finally, because we want to play at the next level, I have agreed with the ministry that we also buy deep sea fishing boats. We've committed 600 million shillings from government of Kenya, because the potential we have in the Indian Ocean is huge. 1.2 billion, sorry. 1.2 billion to buy at least between 15 and 20 deep sea fishing boats that can go into the ocean for 10 days or thereabout, because that way we can achieve faster the targets that we have. We have also now licensed 24 huge trawling facilities in our waters with Kenyan flags, and we have insisted that they must land the fish in Kenya before they go anywhere. We are also commercializing liwatoni. I have agreed with Joho that there is no reason why we should continue putting public money in some of these facilities. The private sector can do it better. So we are working on that, and many of the other facilities that we have. And I want to encourage the fisher folk and our partners at the county that let us mainstream the participation of the private sector, so that we can leverage on making sure that these facilities we are building make sense to the fisher folk and to our overall plan of unlocking the potential that exists in the blue economy space. I don't think I have forgotten any issue that I needed to say. I got some notes here. Let me see. Yeah, I think generally I have said what I wanted to say today on this very important conference, and therefore, just to give you my assurance and that of the government of Kenya, working with all our counties, that the blue economy space will not be left behind again. We are stepping up, and we want to unlock the potential that exists in this place. And I must congratulate Tom Mboya University for taking up the challenge of being the blue economy university. We're going to support this university, build the necessary infrastructure to train the highest quality of men and women and human capital in the blue economy space. So with those many remarks, the rest of the issues, and that is why we themed this year's Madaraka, a blue economy Madaraka. And it is a blue economy Madaraka because Homabay is the best positioned place for us to have a blue economy Madaraka. And I want to say I'm truly grateful to the people of Homabay, to the county government of Homabay and all the leaders in this region for putting together this Madaraka celebration that now looks like will be among the best organized, because I can already see the signs. So with those many remarks, I know I need to answer a few questions from these good people. But before I answer those questions, we have Baba in the room. You know, so I want to request Baba to come and make some remarks, and then I will answer the questions.
Thank you. Asante sana.